again, and welcome to Technique Talk, another in our series here on the Technique Lab YouTube channel. I'm your host, Coach David Riley, and I'm just so happy to share with you on a daily basis this or review on the happenings over there in Budapest, Hungary, and indeed we are so grateful to have you with us right here on our YouTube channel as we cover the World Athletics Championships, the championships for the superheroes of athletics, and indeed superheroes include the Jamaicans who are carrying the black, green, and gold flag and doing exceptionally well on the track and in the field. And certainly we are enjoying every moment of it because we enjoy the ups and the downs, and we're happy for what our athletes are doing over there in Budapest. And the quest for Budapest started 7 days ago. We finished day number 7 because we're reviewing the performances from day 7. So day 7 is already history, and indeed it has been a great day, and it was a great day for Jamaica as well over there in Budapest, as we start off with just recognizing the huge effort, the golden effort of our own Shericka Jackson. Yes, Shericka Jackson did what we were expecting, a great performance by her, and indeed we are celebrating Shericka Jackson in the 200 meters for women, the only Jamaican in the field, and she secured gold as we were hoping and expecting, and that was in a championship record of 21.41 seconds. Yes, 21.41 seconds. That is pretty nippy, if you ask me. That was the golden performance there from Shericka, and indeed Shericka has really taken on this event, and she just dismissed the field. And of course, we were celebrating, so happy, a great moment. We wanted her to win. She came through and delivered the goods, and indeed that was a very special moment for us. Shericka, thank you for that and that moment to celebrate as we looked at and cherished the performance that you delivered. Shericka Jackson, big up. I don't know how many males can run 21.4. Well, juniors, a lot of them can't run this, but this is pretty fast. And I'm really glad that this graphic is from World Athletics, and it came out within seconds of the race. For them to work so fast, and to produce it and to personalize it, because Jamaica is there. The map of Jamaica is part of the backdrop. Great work by the graphics team over there, World Athletics. We're certainly happy for that, and that touch that they gave it. Very special. And of course, that was an $80,000 run. Can you imagine? 80,000 US dollars for winning the 200 meters. Of course, on the men's side, Noah Lyles lived up to all the talk. Hardly anybody would be surprised that he won the 200. He won it in 19.52 seconds. Lots of talk about the world record. Of course, it's a bit off from the world record. His teammate Knighton was second, 19.75 seconds, and Tobago of Botswana came through and gave the African nation something to cheer about. 19.81 seconds. His time to finish third. Andrew Hudson, who was advanced to the final, Andrew Hudson of Jamaica, advanced to the finals because of that buggy golf cart accident, um, that unfortunate situation where he was affected going into the 200-meter semifinals. He was advanced to the finals and he finished eighth with a time of 20.40 seconds, giving Jamaica that 1 point that we needed on the points table. Yes, remember we're also tracking the placings table. We're not just tracking the medal table, we're tracking the placing table as well, and you get points from first place 8 points to first place you get 8 points to eighth place you get 1 point, and that's how it works. And then they tally that and they present a team trophy at the end of the meet. So Andrew Hudson finishing eighth gave us that 1 point. You never know, that 1 point might come down to making it very special for us. So thank you, Andrew, for that. Then, of course, in the middle of that, we also had the men in the 4x100 meters. They qualified for the finals. That team of Akeem Blake, Oblique Seville, Raheem Ford, and Rohan Watson. Rohan Watson anchored there, looking pretty fast, closing down on Team USA and edging out Japan in that particular leg. A very good performance, strong performance. Wasn't really expecting this team to be out there in the prelims. I must tell you, that one was a bit of a surprise. But of course, we reserve all the comments and the to the coaches who are on the ground, the ones who are managing the talent and the athletes who are there. So that was a team. I'm not sure if we're going to make any changes between this team and the team for the finals, but they ran creditably, of course, and have advanced to the finals, the third fastest time overall, and Italy, USA, and then Jamaica. So that was a good run from the youngsters. And this team, I think the oldest person on this team is 22 years old. All of these athletes are so young that it is amazing what the potential is for Jamaica going forward in these championships. And then, of course, we had the women relay team also qualifying for the finals. Really doing some good work there. Jamaica 4x1 women, Brianna Williams to Elaine Thompson-Hero to Shashali Forbes, and anchored by Shelly Ann Fraser-Price in the blue hair. Blue it was today, and they did very well, winning their heat and indeed securing Jamaica's spot into the finals. So it was a good day, good morning, it was good afternoon session for us, the men in their performance and the women in their performance in the 4x100 meter relay. Of course, not to be outdone and not to miss them, the two women in the triple jump women finals was also on. This event was so hot. This event was so hot that it is amazing what they were able to do. The top 6 of the top 8 persons in this competition registered as season's best. Can you imagine? Shanieka Ricketts was 4th with a jump of 14.93 meters, and 14.93 meters for 4th place is ridiculous. You jump 14.93 and you end up off the podium. That's ridiculous. Of course, Rojas left it until her last attempt, and you only need one jump because it's the best jump that is compared against all the other athletes. So the best jump she left for last and was just breaking our hearts. But in fact, In fact, I am one who believe that the informed athlete should be the one to get them. I really, think Rojas is the class of the field, and it would be heartbreaking for her to, just be there and not medal. I mean, you could see the agony, but for her to recover, and this is what we talk about, the mental toughness that is needed to be at this level, to be able to keep your composure, knowing the stakes, knowing the problems that you're having, and make the adjustments, listen to the coach, and the expertise that were used to make these adjustments. Amazing. And of course, she delivered on her last jump, and that was a relief to millions of people who were cheering for her. Kimberly Williams was seventh with a season's best, as I told you before, 14.38 meters. So great performance by those ladies. A little disappointment, I would think, for Ricketts, who was really expecting to give a medal there, to get a medal there, and Jamaica would have been so happy with a medal from Ricketts. But of course, it wasn't to be. But both of them being in the top 8, the points table looks like this. Team USA is leading with 217 points, and then in second, the second best team in the world after 7 days of competition, just over 100 points with 104 points. Team Jamaica has joined the USA as the only team over 100 points. And of course, Great Britain is there, 57. The other nations are in the 50s. We expect the Kenyans to score some more points in the events coming up. Lots of middle and long distance events coming up, including the marathon. So we need to make sure we're, scoring our points and get up there. We have quite a few opportunities left for the rest of the championships, and we certainly want to make sure those are taken and we are utilizing the opportunities we have to score. Somebody asked, does ninth place get any money? No. No funds for the ninth place athlete. Top 8 gets to walk away with some of that prize money. So, good day for Jamaica. We are on 9 medals and quite a few opportunities left to score and to add to the medal table, and we're looking forward to that. Still huge performances so far from the Jamaicans. So what do you think? How did you think the performances were today? Drop something in the comments, and we certainly will interact with you on that. So a good day. Now, yesterday I spoke briefly about the situation at the in the long jump, that Carey McLeod incident, and I want to look at it from another standpoint, from similar arguments that we were using yesterday, but that how serious that situation is, that Carey McLeod. So let's look at this, what Carey McLeod, that incident that took place at the long jump pit. Let's take a look at this. So McLeod slips or slides after making contact with the board, and that actually was from the substance that was on the foul board. The substance that was on the foul board seemed to have covered the entire foul board. So once you make contact with it, and I've seen this a couple times at the long jump pit, and I've said over and over that in many cases, long jump pit is one of the most unsafe places in the entire stadium. So Carey McLeod had a near scare. Fortunately, he was fine, but you can see that right there, having made contact with the foul board, he slipped. Now, we don't want to think that it's a situation of foul and die. This is, to me, a really crazy situation, and it raises some safety issues and how the officials have interpreted the rules of the long jump and the what should happen there. So Carey McLeod has indeed suffered from what I think the officials kind of misunderstand what the rules are and how the long jump board and the long jump area is supposed to be prepared. So let's look at this. We can't see because we can't zoom in on the video for Carey McLeod, but we can look at this particular shot. It's a similar situation. And so you have the white board, which is 20 centimeters, and then you have the foul board, which it seems like they had plasticine on that particular board. But what the rules require is not for them to have plasticine on the entire board. So what would happen is that you have the board, which is a 20 centimeters. So you're running from, in this case, the running direction is from left to right. So the board, it shows there on the running direction for this particular jump. So this is a takeoff board. And in this case, before they had, you have the fall board, which is that graded area there, which is the usually where the plasticine is. But you don't need to actually have plasticine covered on the entire board. So there are two setups that they have. One where the fall board is at the same level of the takeoff board. So they're on the same plane. And this is when they're using that the technology to look at the laser. So the laser is supposed to be in line with the front of that takeoff board. And in fact, that is not the only configuration that they have. In fact, I prefer the previous situation where the fall board was raised higher than the long jump takeoff board. And in this particular configuration, the plasticine is only supposed to be that small bead that is right at the front. It's supposed to be 90 degrees, right at the front of the fall board there, so that once the athlete's toe breaks the plane of the long jump board, then they would make an indentation on the plasticine, and it is that indentation that would be used to determine that the athlete fouled. You don't need to cover the entire fall board in order to determine if the person has broken the plane. And I don't know why these officials continue to cover the entire fall board with plasticine to make it unsafe, to make it a place where if you fall, you're going to die. Because what happened with Carey McLeod there is nothing short of irresponsible. And I've sat, I can tell you, I have been to global meets, and I've sat there and I've insisted that they change that board and not use a board with the plasticine covering entire fall board. It is totally out of the rules, and it is a very bad interpretation of what the rules are. So that was a particularly troubling situation. The young man could have lost his career. The young man could have been severely affected. And indeed, that is not something that we want to see from any of our jumpers. In the case of Akela Smith, and they're using laser to determine, so now, in addition, this is why the fall board is now at the same level as the takeoff board. It's not higher than the takeoff board. So it's at the same level, and they're using a laser which is supposed to be right in line with the edge of the long jump takeoff board. So if the athlete breaks the plane of the vertical plane of the long jump board, it would be detected by the laser and measured. So what you see at the bottom of the screen is a gap, which is how much over the long jump board is the athlete. Now, frankly, I think unless I see and I'm sure and I'm certain that this thing has been properly calibrated, I am not prepared to accept a foul that is measured as plus 0.1 centimeters, 0.1 centimeter. 0.1 centimeter you call a foul for somebody 0.1 centimeter? I don't even know what the margin of error of this thing is. I don't know to what precision does this thing measure. What is this? 0.1 centimeter you give a person. If an official is sitting right there, if we're using an official looking with their naked eye, that official would more than likely give that a legal jump. They would not say that that's a foul because it's in line with the board. Now, the foul is not that you're in line with the board. Nearly is not going to cut it. You must be over the board. And I'm not sure. I'm certain. I'm serious. I'm not even trusting the technology, I must tell you. Until they show me calibration data, I'm not even interested in that. I'm not even interested in that. That's just why I'm not even interested in the splits that I see them publishing. The splits are off. They're not correct. I don't believe those splits one bit. Those things are crazy. And for them to give the young lady a foul because she's over the board by 0.1, tell me what the calibration is for this thing. How accurate is this thing? Is it accurate to 0.1? 0.1 should be given as a jump. I'm not buying that. I'm not taking that from you, World Athletics and Seiko, and your experimenting that you're doing. That is not going to cut it for me. I need to see more. I'm a scientist by training, by the way. I might be coaching, but I'm really, I just don't accept those things at all. I'm not going to take it. I need to see something else to be convinced that what you are proposing or what you are suggesting is correct. That's just me, right? So we need to see some calibration data for that. We need to know if in fact this thing is accurate and to what level it is accurate, because this doesn't make any sense. No official, I guess this must be the equivalent to goal line technology that's being used in football, but no official would give that as a foul. None. If they're using the naked eye, none. And in fact, everybody would agree that that doesn't look like a foul because you can't see that it's over the board. So I mean, that is very something that we need to make sure we are pressing to get some information on. So clearly a very unfortunate situation for Carey McLeod, but we need answers and we need to press. This is just not acceptable. And I noticed today that in the triple jump, it's the same thing. They brought back that same board. What is going on over there in Budapest? Nobody's sitting at the long jump pit aware that something is strange about how they've set up that thing. That should not be at all. It is dangerous, and we don't need any more incidents other than the Carey McLeod incident for us to be convinced that that setup must change. It's just not going to work. Unless they like carrying people on ambulances and stretchers. Maybe, I mean, unless that's, but in any case, that's not good at all. So there's some questions here in the chat. Was the U.S. team disqualified from the 4x1? I think in the female 4x1, it looked like they were close to the edge of the box on that second exchange. But of course, I don't recall a disqualification for Team USA. It would have been announced. I checked it, but of course the World Athletics site has been having all kinds of problems all day, so I'm not sure. When I checked it earlier, they're still qualified. I mean, maybe they've looked at it. More than likely, they had ran out of the box they would have been disqualified. But it's still showing that they ran a season's best of 41.59 seconds. Um, Somebody's asking, what are my thoughts about using both systems together? The problem with using both is that one has to override the other. I would rather, I don't have an issue with it except that we need to be sure that the thing is properly calibrated. And we need, just like how you have to say, an athlete's point, point one of a second is the reaction time limit, right? Then we need to know what is the limit, what is the error, how thin is this laser beam, how is it able to measure that line? I don't see anything reflecting on the other side, because normally laser you have a line and there's a reflection. How do you know whether in fact the thing has been calibrated and is in line with the front of the board? We need to know that. That's a legitimate question. We need some answers from the persons who are managing this technology. We don't trust what we can't see. That's just my particular position. So those are all the. Somebody's asking again, does ninth place get any money? No, they don't get any money. No money for the person finishing ninth. But of course, you were in the finals, so that's a plus there for the individual. So tomorrow we do have quite a bit of action on the track. Looking forward to some great things. The decathlon continues. Hopefully we can get some decathletes in the competition sooner than later. But of course the women's shot put is on, and Daniel Thomas Dodd is lined up there in Group A, and of course 19.10 meters is the automatic qualifying distance, and that should not be any problems for Danielle. She's gone 19.77 meters this season, which is her personal best as well. So hopefully she will get the automatic qualifying into the finals, and top 12 or 12 get through to the finals. So that should be an interesting experience for us. That's tomorrow in the morning session. And then of course in the afternoon session, the men's pole vault final, there should be great this should be a great performance, great competition. Looking forward to it as well. We don't have any athletes in the men's pole vault, but it should be a spectacle as the athletes battle for the gold, silver, and bronze medals. Tomorrow as well would be the prelims of the men's 4x4, sorry. So the men's 4x4 heats are on tomorrow. So are the women's 4x4 heats. What are your lineup for those relays? You can throw those in the chat as well. And then of course the shot put women's final is in the afternoon session. So is the 800 meter men's final, and all the middle and long distance 5,000 and 1,500 meter finals are on. 1,500 meter decathlon finals, that is 5,000 meter women's final, 1,500 meter decathlon finals, and then the day ends with the 4x1 men and the 4x1 women. So normally the men ends the championship, but in this case, well, they did it last year because they were celebrating the women and women's movement, women's rights, and I think they've brought back the same thing this time around. We're ending with the 4x1 women on the day, so it should be a good evening for us, hopefully a golden evening for us, and we should be doing very well in both 4x4s. Lots of depth there for Team Jamaica. Should be an exciting moment for us as we look to the athletes doing what they can. So if question here in the chat, so if you make a field event finals, you still have to make it in the top 8 to get, yes, you have to make it in the top 8. Top 8 wins the prize. Nothing less than that will get you any of the money that is set aside for the World Athletics Finals. So here it is. We're happy to have shared with you today on Technique Talk, where we talk about the things that nobody else wants to talk about and bring you all the details, help you to understand the sport a little better, help you to appreciate some of the things a little better. And so certainly we're happy that you've joined us, and we look forward to you join us again tomorrow and tell us what you think. Be sure to add your comments to the chat. Somebody's asking again, how about Cool running a bad race? An adult Tracy running a race of her life. That is, yeah. I mean, when you have the benefit of knowing the time that you need to run, as in the case of Gould, she was in semifinal 2. She had the benefit of knowing the times that were ran in the previous semifinal, and so you know you need to run 1:59 low. You know that. So might as well you go. And she went out, but she dropped the pace. And the problem with 800-meter athletes many times is the pace. They are habitual. They like to feel comfortable with the pace. And if the pace gets too hot, even though it might be within their ability, they don't want to really step out and do it. And I think she made some bad decisions in the race. Cost her. She didn't qualify because the race was slow, and of course the faster times went through. Adele Tracy did indeed run a very good race and fought for 800 meters and came away with a qualifying performance. So it's good to see a Jamaican in the finals again. Keep our presence in the middle and long distance. And Gould was the finalist the last time. Now Adele Tracy is there. Jamaica is represented in the 800 meters, and we're looking forward to her improving her time and indeed doing something special for us. So thank you for those comments, and we're happy that you've joined us. Continue to like our channel and click that notification bell so that you know when we're going live again, and be sure to share our channel, share the video, that others might come and learn some of the things that you've learned today. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.